A few of you have asked me how I started my private tutoring business, and to give you a summary, I started my private tutoring business when I was just 19, fresh out of high school, and I was tutoring English. I was studying pharmacy at university and I wasn't really quite sure if I wanted to be a pharmacist or not, but because of my parents, I decided to pursue it anyway because that's what they wanted of me, and I didn't really know what else I wanted to do, to be honest. But throughout the following 5 years, I was tutoring on the side. I was looking after, on average, 26 students per year, making roughly $52,000 a year while I was still at university. And by the time I became a pharmacist, I did it for only 11 months before I quit because I absolutely hated it. I talked about that experience before, but I realized that with tutoring, it was so rewarding. I had really flexible hours. I was actually making more money as a tutor than I was as a pharmacist, so it was a no-brainer. Since then, I've built Lisa Study Guides to a team of over 35 tutors. We look after 200 students each year, and I've made over $2 million in sales. It's been an epic journey, and on this channel, I want to share with you all of the lessons I've learned along the way, give you some really good tips on what's working in the market right now and what's not, how you can grow and build your own tutoring business as well. So throughout this video, I'm going to be talking about marketing, pricing, defining your ideal student and what that means, your first few students and what to do with them, and whether or not you should do free trial lessons. So if this answers all of your burning questions on how to get started with tutoring, then make sure you subscribe to this channel. First is marketing. When you are starting your business, you can start off doing a lot of things that are absolutely for free. And I can tell you that those things that you do for free absolutely still work, because my tutoring business owner clients who I teach these marketing strategies to, they're getting students after students just via things like, firstly, going to their inner circle, their friends and family, and spreading word of mouth that they are doing tutoring. Since tutoring is a service-based industry, it means that being personable and knowing you is really important. So you want to leverage that by actually connecting with your friends, families, friends of friends, whoever they can spread word of mouth about you to, because the fact that they know you means that your chances of actually converting someone to be your student is much higher than, say, posting online on social media, where it does take time to nurture somebody who has no idea who you are. Beyond that, leverage your local community. So think about local libraries, cafes, or even if flyers and dropping flyers is something that is legal in your area, which I know that it isn't in some states of America, then go ahead and do that, because localization is something that you can definitely leverage, especially if you're doing in-person tutoring. People like the fact that they don't have to travel far and know that if you're within just a few Ks of their place, it's a lot more convenient for them as well. Next is to think about where your parents and students are online. Are they hanging out in certain Facebook groups? Are they local community Facebook groups? Is it a Facebook group based on that specific subject or topic that you teach? So for example, if you're a tutor who's helping parents and coaching them to help this child sleep better, then you would want to go onto parenting forums. All of the tactics I've mentioned so far are really cost-effective, really low input, low effort ways for you to really quickly get your first few students. Only after that do they then encourage you to start building a website, to do social media, all things which are a lot more intensive and therefore take up a lot of your time. So if there's a way to get students quicker and easier, then why not do that? Next is your pricing. Some things for you to consider are, am I doing one-on-one, or am I doing small group, or am I doing classes? Next is, am I doing in person or am I doing it online? If you're doing in person, are they coming to you or are you traveling to them? All of these questions help you determine how much time you're actually putting into the tutoring itself, not just the 1 hour of tutoring. So that's one thing that I find a lot of people forget. You actually need time to travel to places if you're doing it in person. You need time to prepare for the session. You may provide support outside of the session. All of these cuts into your own personal time. And so when you think about charging for 1 hour of tutoring, don't just think of that 1 hour. Encompass it with everything else you're doing throughout the week to make sure that you're actually charging a rate that makes sense for you. Now you can look at the market rate and see how much other tutors with your similar level of experience tutoring your subject or topic and how much they're charging. However, one thing that I do with my clients is that market rate is only just a a starting point. You don't necessarily want to charge what basically everyone else is charging because that makes it highly competitive. So wherever you can, you actually want to start increasing your prices. And I know when it comes to increasing your prices and charging above market rate, it's something that automatically, and maybe as soon as I said this, makes you feel really uncomfortable. You feel fearful. You feel guilty for charging more. You feel bad. There are just all these emotions that come to surface. And the problem with all these emotions coming to surface is then you're no longer operating from a CEO mindset. You're no longer operating from a position where you as the business owner, you are no longer charging the optimal price that could be possible for the value that you're offering. So when you think about your prices, I'd really encourage you to review your self-limiting beliefs. How are you potentially holding yourself back from charging more? I would really love to strike up a conversation about this in the comment section below. So let me know, what are your self-limiting beliefs when it comes to pricing? I've been able to help my clients, Praveen, go from $25 to $50 an hour. Phoebe used to charge $670 for a tutoring package, and now she's charging $1,200. These self-limiting beliefs, they are there, and we can absolutely work through them so that you are charging more. Next is defining your ideal student. Not enough tutor coaches talk about this, and it's how you can actually decide who you want to attract to your business. So I can tell you that at some point in your tutoring career, you're going to have a student who comes to you and signs up, and it's all very exciting, but it all just goes downhill from there. They're either not motivated, so they're inattentive inside your sessions, they're not particularly responsive, they're not engaged, and as a result, they probably stop coming to your sessions week after week. They only appear every now and then. They only show up if it's last minute and they're desperate and they have an exam that they need to prepare for. And so these type of students are not the type of students you want in your business. Why? Because they're not the type of students who are going to build up your reputation as a brand. They're not going to sing your business name out to others and share good word of mouth about you, which, remember, word of mouth is incredible at getting you more students in through the door in the future. And not just that, but they're actually harder students to teach. If they're not interested, it makes you as a tutor have a really hard time actually teaching them too. The third reason is that it's not particularly good for your revenue either. If you have a student who is constantly rescheduling, they're constantly canceling, they only want to see you last minute, and they only have a session every now and then you're not getting consistent income to actually build a stable foundation in your business. So instead, we want to focus on attracting your ideal student. And an ideal student looks different to everyone. For me, an ideal student is someone who is engaged, they're motivated. I know I'm particularly good at helping those who are averaging in English. They're not at the very top, they're also not at the very bottom, but they've already established the basics, but they really just need help to advance their skills. So I know that's what I'm good at, and those are the type of students I really want to attract to my business because I know I'm best at helping them. And when you're best at helping a certain ideal student, what does that mean? It means you're probably going to produce amazing transformative results for those students. When that happens, what does that mean? It means that they're going to sing word of mouth about your business. What does that mean? You're going to get more students. What does that mean? Hopefully you're going to add more to your bottom line in your business. You're going to grow your business, and it's all a positive feedback loop from there. Now, if you want to learn more about this idea of an ideal student and why you should be attracting them to your business and what happens when you don't, then I highly recommend my free 90-minute masterclass, the 3-step framework to a 6-figure tutoring business, showing you the steps of how I managed to grow my business to where it is today so that you can avoid the mistakes I did and fast track yourself to your dream goal in your tutoring business. Next, let's talk about your first students. Your first handful of students are going to be crucial in you building that solid foundation in your business. It's really important when you get those students in that you actually retain them. So retention is also something that's not discussed enough. Yes, we can have lots and lots of students coming to us, but if after the first session, they just drop off because you didn't host a good first session with them, you didn't leave a good impression, then you're not really building a business, are you? You're kind of just staying stagnant. So when you think about your first session, really think about what showcases you as an amazing tutor. Actually plan out your first session, what that hour would look like with a student, break it down, what would you want to cover with them, how do you want to build rapport with them, and that way when you actually come to doing your first session with them, you've already got a plan of action. You're not just thinking about things off the cuff and on the spot, which may make you feel less confident. When you're less confident, it really shows to your student, and often students don't come back because they know you're not confident in what you're doing and therefore they're not going to trust you. And this first session is something that you can continuously work on. So I continuously worked on my first session plan and really optimized it over time as soon as I kind of realized what worked and what didn't work. And I was then able to share that with my over 35 tutors, and they're now using it with their students too, which has helped us grow as a company. Next is, should you do free trial lessons? This one is quite contentious, and I'm on the perspective of, look, if you don't need to give away anything for free, then you shouldn't have to. If you can charge for your first session, then absolutely do that because your time is valuable, you know? Don't just give away free sessions just because you see everyone else doing so. We don't do that at my company, and we've been able to grow to where we are today just by sticking to our guns and knowing and believing that we provide so much value in our first session that's why we don't give them away for free, because we're confident that our students are going to get what they paid for and they're going to keep coming back. Instead of going for a free trial, perhaps what you could offer that is going to take up less of your time is, say, a free consultation call. If that particular student has questions about the session and they're really not too sure if they want to sign up quite yet, then give them some of your time, but at least that way you're not giving away one entire hour of your time of all this amazing advice that you're going to give because you've planned the first session as well, by the way. And that's what we do at Lisa Study Guides. We do consultation calls and then the students sign up and pay for their first session. The other thing to keep in mind is that free attracts a different sort of customer. You're potentially going to attract people who just want something for free. They have no intention of signing up with you from the get-go, no matter how good you are, and they're just there just to soak up that free value. So I would really reconsider if you're somebody who offers a free trial and just ask yourself, how could I possibly charge for my first session, but really think about my marketing, think about consultation calls and that sales process and how I can really showcase that I've got a lot of value to offer these students from the get-go. If you liked this video, then I would love for you to thumbs it up and remember to leave that comment for me. What are some self-limiting beliefs you have about starting your tutoring business? And let's chat about it. And that way I can gather what you're all saying and create a new video addressing those self-limiting beliefs and how you can overcome them in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!